I'm really thrilled, genuinely, to be a patron of the Institute of Imagination. You know, it's long been a maxim of mine that it's imagination that really sets us apart from the rest of life on Earth. And I honestly think it does. You know, imagination is not a single capacity, it's a whole suite of human capabilities, but it comes to the capacity to bring to mind things that aren't present to our senses. With imagination, you're, as it were, liberated from the here and now. You can visit the past. You can anticipate the future. You can't easily predict the future, but you can anticipate it. You can enter the mindset of other people. You can aim to empathize and see the world as they see it. And imagination is also the wellspring of all the practical powers of creativity. Creativity is really putting your imagination to work. It's, so to speak, applied imagination. It's like the executive wing of imagination. You can see the difference pretty easily. You can be imaginative all day long and never do anything. To be creative, you have to do something. And the interesting thing is, of course, that you can be creative at anything, whatever. It's not just about the arts, it's about science, technology, it's about academic work, it's about our being in the physical world. It's about creating the environment, it's about design, technology and engineering. In fact, all the manifestations of human culture and all its richness and variety are the fruits of imagination and creativity. And it's why it's so centrally important that we should cultivate it. There's a difference between a capacity and an ability. We're all born with the imaginative and creative capacities, but whether we actually hone them and realize them and bring them to fruition is a matter of opportunity and of education. So it's long been a concern of mine that these distinctively human characteristics and capacities are sadly neglected in much of our provision for young people, for children, and particularly in school. And I don't say this in criticism of schools. I've worked in education my whole life, and in my experience, teachers, educators of all sorts, in all capacities, are desperately concerned about and committed to the development of children's creative capacities. But we often find ourselves in situations where, for reasons of policy or reasons of funding, these facilities and opportunities aren't readily available. And it's why the mission of the Institute of Imagination is so desperately important. It's a celebration of children's imagination and creativity, but it's also offering all kinds of practical opportunities for its cultivation. Well, we're on the road to having the campus for the Institute, and one of the stages along the way is the Imagination Lab. Already, the team behind the lab has worked with about 11,000 children, not just with children, but with their families, and they've produced a whole array of practical techniques and of programs which are very fluid, very interdisciplinary, and that's their strength. There isn't a fixed formula. But also, the team has been working with schools, and I think that's really very important too, that schools are collaborators with families in this whole process. The thing is, we often live within these disciplinary structures which are institutional in character, but they don't answer to the dynamics of the processes themselves. Outside of schools, for example, the arts and sciences work very freely together. They inform each other and they enrich each other. And that's part of the aim of the campus and of this current lab, that we are not landlocked into old institutional boundaries, that we can work fluidly across them. So I'm excited about this, and I think everyone involved in it is energized too. We can see a tremendous potential, not just for the children who have direct access to it, but I do think the Institute, in its full version, hopefully in the next couple of years, will be a beacon for education, for children's general development, not just in the UK, but internationally. I think it's that important.